Mark Safe here again. In our first few lessons, we talked about bluff types and how floating your opponents on the flop or turn can help you take the pot on a later street. With everything we've learned so far, we're now going to spend the next few minutes looking at what factors need to come together to make an optimal bluffing situation. Like anything else, optimal conditions don't happen all that often. Still, if you can put yourself in a spot where you have more things going for you than against you in the hand, your bluffs will have a much more likely chance of succeeding. So what makes an optimal bluffing situation? First, you want to be in a game that's not too loose. One or two loose opponents at a table are okay and are generally avoidable. But optimally, you're looking to bluff against opponents who are capable of laying down their hands if they think they're beat. Remember, bluffing against a maniac or a calling station almost never pays off because these opponents are likely to stick with their hand long past the time that a more conservative or talented opponent would. The other advantage of a table that's not too loose is that you're more likely to be able to get heads up against a single opponent in any given hand as opposed to seeing a flop, say, 5 ways. Bluffs work best when they're executed in one-on-one situations as opposed to multi-way pots because, with more players in the hand, there's a greater chance that someone has actually connected with the board that you're trying to bluff. Of course, having position in the hand can be crucial to helping your bluff succeed. As we've discussed, being in position gives you the ability to float your opponent by flat calling their bets on either the flop or the turn and then taking the pot with a bet of your own on a later street. Also, remember that being in position makes your bluffs cheaper because you're generally just calling your opponent's bets rather than check raising them like you would when you're out of position. Finally, look for boards with good texture. Paired boards and boards with flush and straight draws often provide enough scary situations that when played correctly, your opponent will have a tough time calling down your hand. When all or most of these factors come together at the same time, your bluffs are most likely to succeed. And even if you do get caught, your bluffs can still provide future equity because your opponents will be more likely to pay you off in a later hand when you are really holding a monster.